the immortal introduction to one of the best wrestling games ever made, WWF No Mercy, for the N64. Now, it was one of the best for numerous reasons. We're not going to discuss about that today. We're going to discuss about 5 little known things about WWF No Mercy. Ooh, you're in for a treat. WCW and Japan both had this franchise before WWF did. So you had awesome games such as WCW NWO Revenge and Virtual Pro Wrestling. So what did THQ and AKI do? Instead of just removing them completely like most other games would, they kept them all in as bonus dollars. You get WWF dollars, you unlock the moves for your created wrestlers. And that's why you could have the Insider's Edge. What about the Great Muta's Poison Mist? What about a Russian neck drop, because that just is painful? What about a Steiner screwdriver? It has all the classic elements of unlocking stuff, and it took time to do it. A lot of time. A lot of hard spent time, which early on was a bit of a trouble, but we'll discuss that in greater detail shortly. The career mode is probably one of the most diverse and complicated career modes that WWE games has ever had, and yet it is 15 years ago since it was released. You could choose between pretty much every title that was out at that time and have its own unique storyline tree. And I'm saying it's a tree because there's loads of branches for ways of doing the matches. You don't have to win matches, you can deliberately lose. In the Royal Rumble match, you can deliberately put yourself on the apron, wait for, let's say, a superstar like Steve Blackman to come a cropper, and you can stun gun him and eliminate yourself just like Drew Carey did. See? Boom, eliminated. But that's fine. You could then have a lovely little trail to do something else that's particularly awesome, to continue the storyline arc. And to get 100%, you would have to deliberately lose to get the 100%, which could be really difficult. And sometimes it depends how you lost. Losing by countout and losing by DQ or losing by pin could cause a different storyline change. It was so in-depth for its time that it's not been seen since. Quite sad, really. Ignoring WCW Backstage Assault, because that game was a pile of poo, No Mercy was one of the first games to have backstage brawls. Just by dragging or whipping an opponent through invisible walls, you'd be able to go into the backstage area, mainly in hardcore matches, and you could do some destructive goodness. Look, Austin's getting back dropped off through the table! Or the boiler room, or maybe if you fancy a little bit of peckish, a little bit of thirst, we can quench it with a bit of a barroom brawl, you know? It's even got an APA sign there, and an AKI sign. It was awesome to do that in one-on-ones, triple threats, two-on-twos. It was a great thing, and yet we still don't get much action. We have ladder matches as well in this game. Backstage brawls is something that we miss of that scale. It's been free roaming. We wish it was back. Mods. Anyone? Mods. For years, WWF No Mercy has been the key place for modders to mod the game to have updated rosters and companies. Years ago, there was the infamous ROH versus TNA mod for WWF No Mercy, which was phenomenal. Having all the ROH characters, the TNA guys such as Raven and Abyss and AJ Styles. You've got CM Punk there from ROH. You've got Samoa Joe and the Briscoe brothers. It was awesome stuff there. Look, the Monster Abyss. But even to this day, they still mod the game. There was dumpster matches and ladder matches and scaffold matches. But now they even have the NXT roster added in. Someone made a WWE 2K15 mod updating all the wrestlers and moveset, and it looks glorious. If you have the original game, I strongly suggest you download the mod and have a go at it, because you wouldn't be disappointed, would you? I don't think so. The last thing that people keep forgetting, despite No Mercy being one of the best games ever made for the wrestling industry, is the fact that THQ balls up the production of the game when it first came out. How do I know this? Because I was one of the kids that bought the game on the initial release back in 2000 on the N64. Now, I was completing the game, unlocking all the characters and superstars, and then one day, suddenly, all the data had been erased, no matter what you did. Rebooted the game, unlocked everything again, boom, all of a sudden disappeared at a random point. It was a known mistake that THQ didn't fix for months. It was probably about 3 to 4 months later that they released a product replacement for the game. Now, as a kid, that is annoying. Granted, now you can have patching and software updates to cause these sort of problems, but back in 2000s and late 90s, you didn't have this option. If there was a massive flaw, they would have to recall everything, and that's exactly what THQ did. I believe about 90 to 95% of old cartridges had this flaw, which nowadays is insane. The amount of money that THQ must have lost by reprinting all those cartridges must have been quite enormous. But still, it is regarded as one of the best wrestling games ever made for good reason, and that's why it's still being played to this day. Is there anything else you know about No Mercy that maybe I've forgotten about? Please leave it in the comment section below. Do you think No Mercy is the best wrestling game ever made? Well, again, leave a like and subscribe for more WWE gaming goodness, and we'll see you soon. If you have suggestions for more 5 things, also put it in the comment section below. I'm always open for ideas and suggestions. So thank you very much for watching. Just like a schoolboy roll up, we're out of here in 3, 2, 1. Bye bye.